Hi, welcome to this week's Dragonblade Authors Unplugged. I've got Kimberly Keys with us and Meara Platt. Ladies, thanks so much for taking the time to talk to us.
My pleasure.
My pleasure.
Well, this is great. We have a very full week of releases, but I have a chance to talk in depth with Kimberly and Meara. I'll make sure I put all the other books in the comments so you can grab them. But let's just dive right in with Meara's book, which we're gonna crash into Meara's book, which is crash landing on the Duke like you do, and it's part of the Silver Duke series, and it's book 6. Can you tell us about this one, Meara?
Yeah. Okay, so this one's lots of fun. I had to actually, one of my favorite shows that I've been watching on TV was this thing called Crash Landing on You, which was a Korean miniseries. And I said, what a fun concept of, and the way it opened up on that show was the heroine parasailing, gets caught up in this Wizard of Oz type of tornado and gets carried into North Korea and crash lands on the hero.
Oh,
and
my
I
goodness.
said, I'm totally stealing that, gotta copy that opening, which is not quite the same thing. She's not paragliding, but my heroine, who they had met, the hero and heroine, Trajan and Florence, had met in Starlight and the Duke, which was book 5.
Oh, great.
And so they were minor characters back then, but you noticed them because they were fun. She's definitely quirky. So of course she's off doing her thing. She takes little jobs of kind of like investigative jobs. And so she walks around, she's pretending to be a bird watcher. And so she's got her binoculars and notebook in hand. And this is how she's constantly climbing trees. And this is kind of how she's able to spot her, the people she's got to investigate. And if she's got to try to retrieve jewelry or do whatever, this is just part of her job. So of course she's on his property spying on the neighbor. When he sees her, she's stuck up in the tree, her branch falls, she crashes right on him.
Fun.
That's how the story starts. And of course, his wise guy remark is, what are you doing? She goes, I was bird watching, of course. And he goes, well, we established last year that you are a fake bird watcher. So he's not fooled by her. But so basically the story is she's been hired by the Princess of Wales to retrieve very, very damaging love letters stolen from a friend of hers. And the gentleman who wrote her these very racy love letters is someone very high in power and very close to the royal family. So what they don't realize is the person who stole them, the wife of the gentleman that had wanted her to steal them, is a very dangerous guy. And it happens to be the hero's neighbor on this, magnificent, neighboring estates. But he must have spotted her. Apparently he spotted her, the glint of her binoculars while spying on him. And instead of just coming over to see what it is, he shoots at them. So right away we know that this is a bad guy, and he's going to do her in unless she's, unless she stops coming after him, which she's not going to do because she's determined to get the reward that the Princess of Wales is going to give the heroine in exchange for retrieving these letters, is that she's going to forgive her brother. Her brother has run off substantial debts, and he's also got caught in an illegal duel. So she's just motivated. You'll forget everything. We're going to keep your brother out of debtor's prison, out of jail, if you get back these letters. But so Florence is determined to do this. And meanwhile, the hero now realizes that she's in a real dangerous position.
And now we get to have one of your protective heroes.
Yes. Oh, he's so protective of her, and he loves her. And this is what's going to make this story fun. He's just telling her they're trying to sneak away and not get killed, but they do get the bad guy does come upon them. So he's going to give her, the hero's going to pretend that they were off on the side kissing like crazy, which she's going to do, which he does. He just kisses her like crazy and won't stop kissing her until the bad guy comes and is like, okay, what's going on? And he says, oh, we're engaged. She's just accepted to marry me, of course. So fake engagement, save her life. We didn't see we don't know if there was someone spying on you, but oh, isn't that terrible? Unfortunately, we were occupied and didn't see anybody, that kind of thing. The bad guy doesn't really buy it, but he's not going to say anything. Anyway, they have to decide how they're going to find the letters and steal the letters. The bad guy's wife actually is going to help them.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she was the one who stole the letters from her friend in the first place, but she hates this whole idea. She's a good person. And so they're going to figure out a way. And the whole story is about how they enact this. It's, not a theft because they're just retrieving this. They're going to successfully retrieve the stolen letters and not have the bad guy realize first that they've been even stolen in the first place, and not have him hurt the wife who's trying to help them, and not have him kill Florence.
There's a lot of moving pieces.
Yes, a lot of moving pieces, and it's I think the heist that they pull off is going to be a lot of fun, and I think the readers are going to like it very much. And of course, at the end, they end up, hero and heroine end up happily ever after.
Of course they do.
Of course, we have a lot, as is always with my stories, a lot of secondary characters. Florence's aunt is hilarious, and she helps them with this. She's elderly. She's a little bird-like twittery thing, and she's brilliant. And so I think the readers are going to have fun with it.
It sounds like they do. Sounds like a blast. And I love your protective heroes. I love that these heroes are a little bit older, like
yes,
more seasoned. That's fantastic. How many more silver dukes do we get?
Yeah, that's one of the running jokes we have, is that he's got that dash of silver in his hair, like I do, right? I have more than a dash. I have right, but he's always going to say, you're going to turn my whole head gray, if you don't stop. just behave, forget this scheme of yours. But but he is very protective, and he's going to do everything he can to save her. So that's it. And can I just add before we finish and give Kimberly your turn that?
Oh yeah, of course.
We have 3 things, actually 6 more books coming. 3 are going to be Silver Duchesses, which I already have the first book written and turned in. And then we're going to do 3 more Silver Dukes.
Oh, yay.
They're going to be Scottish Silver Dukes. And those guys are definitely going to give the readers a lot of laughs. So
fantastic. As somebody who also has silver in her hair, I am grateful for older heroes and heroines. That's
Yes.
Fantastic. Awesome. 6 more. Whew, that's a lot to look forward to. Fantastic. Well, the next book that came out this week is Joy's Willful Wager, and that's Maeve Grayson's book, and it is book 4 in the 7 Unsuitable Sisters. And Maeve can't be with us this week, but we'll catch up with her in another time. I'll make sure I put that in the link to that in the comments so you can grab it. And then the one that comes after that is Kimberly's book, and it's The Lion's Return. And the cover on this one, holy moly, he knows some stuff. So, Kimberly, can you tell us about this? Is obviously a Lion's Den book.
It is. It's the second book in my series, which is set within the Lion's Den series. It's the series is titled First Comes Marriage, so all of the books involve Mrs. Dove Lyon, and she sets up a marriage in all of the books, and then the romance happens after the marriage begins. So
Oh, I love those so much. That's
that's
one of
it's
my favorites.
it's my favorite right now to write.
Mhm.
Even the short story that I'm doing for the spring anthology, it's gotta have a marriage first. So
Yeah.
anyway, it's just been like kind of a fun challenge for me to do, and I like the you know the slow build to vulnerability that happens, but it gives it a chance to happen like that.
Yeah.
In the first book, Mrs. Devline actually sets up the bet that happens, and she kind of makes it happen to where these two end up together. In this one, my heroine is a widow, and she had a marriage, and you gather in the beginning that the marriage was had some issues. She talks very highly of her ex-husband, her dead husband, but she makes it very clear that although she needs a husband to fulfill this purchase that she wants to do, because it's part of the stakeholders bylaws that they're not going to sell to her unless she's connected, and she can't just be a widow. She has to be, and they would prefer a man, but if it's going to be a woman, she needs to be connected in a marriage to somebody who's in society. So she says, well, I don't even know why I'm here, but she's there with her friends that are all in all of the books, the members of the Ladies Literary Society, which is like a cover for, of course, progressive thinking and all that. Another thing that I just love, and found family. So they've taken her in. The heroine from the first book's like, just hear her out. She knows what she's doing. And so Mrs. Devline says, well, I think I've got the perfect guy for you. And he's almost certainly dead. So the marriage takes place. She's got the document. Now she's very, very smart. So she's able to convince the younger brother, who is heir to a dukedom, and he just doesn't believe that his older brother, who happens to be the bastard son of a duke, would marry this girl, because he just didn't think that he was going to marry again, which of course he probably wasn't going to. And he's just driving her insane. But meanwhile, she's been trying to get to know her fake husband. And so she's been reading all of his private journals and things like that. And she's
Oh goodness.
kind of in love with him, And then somebody's, in the foyer, and she's like all prepared to, oh, I just know it's him again, to come to give me a hard time. And she's about to tell him to get out. And the guy that comes in is not the Duke's younger brother. I mean, it's not her husband's younger brother who's going to be a Duke, but it's him. And he's alive. And
Not dead yet.
He wasn't dead. So she's kind of happy, because she's half in love with him and she thinks he's a pretty good guy. But then she's like, oh dear, well, I've moved in here. Are you going to send me to jail? Am I going to Newgate for this? And she's halfway down the road to moving out when he says, can we just go on with this for a little while? Of course, she needs to know why. I need to know why. And he's going to tell her why. Well, it turns out that the reason he hadn't come back, he's a shipping magnate, and he has had a consortium that was selling these Baker rifles to the British allies during the Napoleonic Wars. And he also had business that was going on in India, and so they had several shipments that went, and everything was fine. And then when the last one was going to go, some big trouble was happening in India. And so he thought, well, I've got all these are my most trusted friends. They can do it. And my best captain, and he's going to retire after this. It's fine. I'm just going to leave it in their hands. And so he leaves. And as soon as he gets there, he's like, he can't find any evidence of anything going wrong. So he's a little suspicious then. And then he gets a note that says, you need to come back because something's going to go wrong with the shipment,
Oh man.
It's anonymous. By the time he gets back, he sees that the shipment is actually going into French waters. And he realizes, uh-oh. Plus he gets fired upon and he's spotted. So he's like, oh, dag.
You can
Well,
always tell when you're fired upon that things aren't going the way that you
things aren't going right. So he's like, oh, can I ever get back? And I've got to figure out what's going. But all of a sudden, he reads in the paper that he's married, and the date of the marriage makes it impossible for him to have been there for the marriage and over here for
which
the
is helpful.
treason. So he goes home and he says, well, I just need you to continue acting as my wife while I figure out who is trying to frame me for treason. And meanwhile, he's got a very strict stepmother who's his whole life told him, do not bring any scandal down upon your father or your brother. You owe them, you owe them, you owe them. So he's also trying to make sure that he doesn't create a scandal. And anyways, that she has to meet the family, and there's just one bed scene where, she's he can tell she's attracted to him, and he doesn't know why, but he figures out, well, I guess she doesn't want to, she doesn't want to have an affair, even though he kind of said, yeah, let's have an affair, So then his father invites them to a house party. And he's like, yes, we'll definitely go. Sure, we're going to be there. Absolutely. Knowing that means they have to share a room. So
Have to be
that's
husband and wife the whole entire time.
yes. So, of course, they do figure out the treason. They figure out all of that. Meanwhile, all along, her stakeholders keep trying to overturn her purchase, and he's trying to get to the bottom of that. And we have to find out also what was happening in her first marriage, and also he's a widow. So what happened in his first marriage? So there are a lot of moving parts in this book, and it keeps you on your toes. Also, he's this was a big stretch for me. I was hoping I was gonna pull it off, because he's got self-esteem issues. He's part his mother was an half Indian heiress. His father was the Duke, and the Duke went over there as an emissary to the crown and ends up falling in love with this woman, and she's a do-gooder over there. She goes to the hospitals, this and that. Wanted nothing to do with his father, but the father eventually falls for her, and they have an affair, and he wants to marry her, but she's like, no, go home. I'm not ever leaving India, and you just need to marry a proper duchess, so he's mad. He goes home and does, and then she calls him back when she has the hero,
By the
because
way.
she's dying, and she says,
No.
you're raising my
Oh,
son. And he says, yes, I will raise our son. So he takes him home. And so, of course, this is my hero who's been resented his whole life by his Duchess stepmother. And so there's a lot. And I've already gotten one of my bookstagrammers saying, you have to write Grayson's story. I'm in love with Grayson. So that's the Duke. That's his younger brother.
Oh, great.
So I might try to do like a little novella about that one. But anyway, it's been a lot of fun. And so I wasn't sure if I was going to be able to pull it off. I wanted to make sure that I showed his trouble because of how difficult his stepmother had been to him and society as a whole. But I wanted to make sure that my point that was to come across was that, she loves him for who he is, and she recognizes his worth. And then through her love and through her eyes, he starts to recognize his own worth, and that, where he was getting his worth, which is he's got this incredible sexual allure and he's very wealthy, which is not the same as having it, inside. So I was hoping I pulled that off, and I'm thinking that I did based on the reviews. So.
Okay. Yeah, and I think that's one of the main things we want from a love story is like a hero that sees the heroine and the heroine that sees the hero for who they really are, not who society sees them for their true selves. And I love a marriage comes first story. I love that idea that they've already committed, and now one of them's going to have to be vulnerable enough to break and say, this is real for me. Yeah, it's like, oh, that's so good.
Yeah, so it was really fun. And then now I've already written the third book, so I just have to go through the revision process, and then that goes off to my editor. So I'm excited, and that ends the trilogy. But I have, some ideas for some spinoffs.
Fantastic. So more to come, just not sure exactly what yet. So.
Yes.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, the next book that came out this week is Winter's Prison, and it's part of the Winter Murder series, and that's E.L. Johnson's series, and it is book 3. So I'll make sure I pop that in the link. And then Kate Archer also has Lady Suspicious, which is part of a series of senseless complications. I have to look up inside my head when I say that to make sure I get the words in the right order. Series of senseless complications. And if you like a good romantic farce kind of thing, it's a fantastic series for that. And then we had a lot of books this week. Then the other book that came out this week is Lord Carlisle's Enticing Lure, and that's Cerise Deland's book, and that's part of the Scarlet Affairs series. So I will make sure we catch up with all the authors coming in the coming weeks, and I make sure I pop the links in the comments so you can grab them if you haven't gotten them already. By the time this airs, we will have launched our great big get all the Halloween anthology novellas you've ever wanted to read in your whole entire life. There are like 40 of them. They'll be on their Dragonblade's Amazon page. So if you look on our Facebook page, there'll be a link to the Amazon page where you can grab all the novellas you want for free. So you can read, you can get your spooky on all weekend and beyond the weekend and read spooky the whole way till the end of the month. And we also have this year's anthology is launching on Saturday. It is Ghost Graveyards and Gray Ladies, and you want to grab that one right away because it's 99 cents. It's less than a bad cup of coffee, and it's your favorite authors, like just with lovely spooky stories for you to read. And that one is also on the Amazon store page. So if you find the link, you'll be able to find everything, and that's on the Facebook page. And we're having a party on Sunday in the readers group, so that you want to make sure you hop on in there so that you can interact with the authors in the anthology, and there'll be prizes and games and all kinds of fun Halloween kind of stuff. So I thought since we had a little bit of time left, maybe we could talk about Halloween kind of stuff, because I am like candy crazy right now. I live in a place where there's actually trick-or-treating. I lived in the middle of nowhere forever. Now there's trick-or-treating. So I keep going to the grocery store and like plotting out what I want to get for the trick-or-treaters. So I'm not buying it yet, because otherwise I'll have to buy it 2 or 3 times before the trick-or-treating actually happens.
Yes.
But I wondered if you guys had any Halloween or fall things you look forward to every year, things that you really love to do this time of year.
Well, I mean, I think it's Halloween falls on a Friday this year. So we're hoping we get a ton of kids. We have a lot of kids in our neighborhood, and it's just the little ones they're so incredibly cute. So we just have so much fun opening the door for them and giving them the candy and the treats. One thing I always do is I buy candy that I like to eat, because if ever there's anything left over, it would all get, it's just, I don't want to have it thrown away or have to, we'll try to give it away. But, so I always buy stuff I like and then end up eating any leftovers.
What are your favorites?
Yeah. You never tell from year to year. Sometimes some years we'll get like 100 kids coming by, and then some years we'll get maybe 10 kids coming by. It's just, it's very hit or miss. Yeah. So, but I'm hoping that because it's a Friday that it'll be good turnout. Yeah.
So what's your favorite candy? What do you like to get?
Anything chocolate that does not have nuts in it. Okay. That's fine.
No,
I love Milky Way bars, Kit Kat bars. They do it for me. I'm good.
Do you guys dress up to meet the kids at the door?
No. I'm so bad. I'm so bad with that. I have absolutely no that kind of artistic stuff. A lot of my neighbors do, and they'll come along with their kids and stuff, and I love it, but I don't. I'm so bad.
Okay, having the candy is the most important part. I think if you hit that bar, that's the bar you have to hit. Yes. Kimberly, do you have Halloween traditions that you like?
Not really. I mean, when I'm home, I like to sit outside with the candy, and just with a neighbor or something, so that I can see them all coming around. I'm not one that ever just leaves the candy at the door. You
want to see the costumes. Like I want to see.
I like it when they do the trick or treat thing. They don't say it as much as they used to. Remember, they used to do the whole poem. But anyway, yeah.
The trick or treat smell my feet poem now.
Yes, yes, yes. Now they just, you're lucky if you get a trick or treat out of them, but they look very cute. And we have like a lot of young families in my neighborhood. Then I love it when my grands come to town because we also have a lot of lights for all the holidays. So
Oh,
we walk them
cool.
around. We do that. They have the strange green lights and they have the blow up scary, dolls and stuff like that. So I guess we do that. My neighbors have a party. I always say that I live on the fun side of the neighborhood because my side of the neighborhood all goes to this party, and then the other side I don't know what they do. But so we
That
do
sounds
that.
like of a neighborhood.
I don't have a problem with the candy. For some, I don't really like candy. Oddly, I like dark chocolate, but other than that, I can have candy in there till it's stale, and you just have to throw it away. So, but if I was going to eat one, it would be the one with nuts. I like a Snickers.
Oh, those are good. Those are good. If
Yeah,
you
I
like
like a
dark
little,
chocolate, the
yeah,
dark
the little
chocolate.
mini Snickers, But generally, no, I just like, really dark chocolate that other people eat it and go, does this have any sugar in it? Like,
Yeah.
I don't know.
The 85 percenters.
Yes,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's what I buy for myself. The kids buy me the 70%. They get me that one for my birthday, but the 85% is what I buy for myself because I can have just a square at
Just
the
a
end of the
little,
night. It's just
you just
enough.
hold it in your mouth. It
Tastes
eventually
chocolatey.
melts.
Mhm.
Yes. So
Yeah.
yummy.
I
But
don't know. I try that, but for some reason, the little square never quite comes out right. It's like the whole top half comes out. And I have to eat it. What can I say?
Then you have to, exactly. Me too.
But it was one of the things I really loved when I went to Paris was that you could sit down in the afternoon and have a cup of coffee. You'd sit down, so you didn't walk around with it, which is like usually I'm carrying it in my hand everywhere I go.
Oh,
You could
same.
sit down and pay attention, and they always came with like a little tiny square, like just 2 or 3 bites piece of dark chocolate. And I thought that's how civilized is that? Like that is just the most civilized thing ever. So. Well, that sounds like very much fun, and I really love the like fall leaves, apple kind of things. I know, Meara, you're on the East Coast too, and you're north of me. So, are you getting leaf changing already?
Not yet, but it should happen very soon.
Mm-hmm.
I think the temperature is a little bit warmer than usual. I mean, it's been a comfortable October. So,
Mhm.
but I think it's that they're going to start changing probably any day now.
Yeah, we're warm here too. I'm kind of afraid we're going to lose them before they change because it's going to be
I'm
warm.
jealous. Yeah. We just have hotter, less hot, rain,
Oh,
Florida.
no. Oh, Florida. Oh,
Yeah,
yeah. Fall in Florida doesn't really feel like fall. So.
not too much. Not too much. My dog loves it. I have a husky. So we have to
Oh
go
my goodness.
go around at like 6:30 in the morning. And when it's cold, he just wants to be out there all the time.
Yeah, I can imagine. You must need lots of brushing too.
He needs a lot of brushing. And the robot can't keep up. The little robot can't keep up. I'm constantly cleaning it out, but it's still, I'm going to keep using it anyway.
Is he a talker?
No, only when people come over.
Hmm.
With me, he's very quiet, but if somebody tries to come in the house, and then recently I had the handyman that was trying to go in my room. So he followed us around. He was as quiet as could be, but then the handyman tried to follow me into my room, and he was not allowed.
Oh.
He was not allowed. And Nicholas came running over, got him in the doorway. He said, "Oh!" And I said, "I guess your dog doesn't want me to come in." I said, "Well, that's okay. You can just stay out there. Then we'll just, He didn't really need to come in. So, not that he was doing anything weird,
No,
but
it's good to have a dog who looks out for you.
yeah. So I was pretty surprised by that, and he was very talky about that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. Well, ladies, it was great talking to you today. I really appreciate you taking the time. I'll make sure I put the links to your books and all the other books in the comments, as well as the link to the Halloween anthology and to the Amazon page, so you can grab all the Halloween novellas you want to read. So there's no reason to do any fall stuff this weekend. You can just sit. You can just stay home, read your books, hot apple cider, and maybe a Snickers bar or two. Ladies, thanks again for your time. I really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
Yeah, thank you.